Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Sparkling Snowflakes Stampin' Up! Bundle. We're going to do a couple of techniques. We're going to kind of make the same card in different colors, slightly different techniques. So I hope that you enjoy this. It has both the stamp set and the punch. And the punch is a tag topper punch, which is kind of unusual in that it doesn't really punch out any of these things. But it is great for making hand sanitizer holders or little holders for like little squares and things. So anytime you would have a corner that would be a main focus of your card, it would be cute to put this snowflake on there. So that's just something to consider for a use for this guy. Okay. So the first thing I did, I really wanted to show you all, let's do this first actually, because this will get this out of the way. The tag topper is just a little under 2 inches wide. So as you punch it, it punches out a little square on each side of a snowflake. So it's super cute, but you can put a ribbon in this just to tie it together with like the other end. Let's do this real quick so you'll see what I'm talking about. So like say you've made this into a shape, something that will hold a candy of some sort. Then you can tie your ribbon at the top here and you will end up with an easy way of closing this, if that makes sense. Then you can add your designer series paper, your cardstock, or one of our little, some of our little snowflakes stamped on there, like this, like just a little pattern of snowflakes, and then just a little sentiment on there, and you've pretty much completed this this design, and it's going to be pretty quick for you. Okay, so that's how to do this part. Sure, I will have a lot of fun with that. And then next, I'm going to do some techniques. The first thing I wanted to do was this. Now, what I did was stamp. There's 2 different sizes or 2 different kinds of snowflakes in this. Each one is the same size as the other, but what you have is a detailed image and then a less detailed image. So what I did with this one was I stamped the detailed image in my freesia, fresh freesia, my Pool Party, and my Balmy Blue. And then I stamped over it with Versamark, each one with the more block image. Then what I did was emboss it with clear embossing powder and, and my heat tool, of course. And what I'm going to do now is add some blue. So the first thing I need to check, I want to use these small, little tiny, and they're not blue. Just checking to see which ones I had used. I have a brand new package of our small blends brushes. So I'm going to use, my color scheme for this one was the Balmy Blue, the Pool Party, the Fresh Freesia, and then I wanted to add in the Misty Moonlight, just to give it another color. So that's what I chose for my color scheme. So what I'm going to do with this little tiny brush is hopefully add some Misty Moonlight. I think that will be pretty. So let me grab the Misty Moonlight. And it's going to make a mess of my paper here. If you have a scrap, sometimes, rather than have to have your piece here, you can pick up another piece, like a folded up piece of paper. Let's see here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like say you had this one and it was totally ruined beside you and you could just fold it like this. Then you wouldn't have to worry about messing up a brand new piece of paper. Like maybe this is gummy on one side and not the other. That would be a perfect use for this paper, just to save you a little bit of money. Okay, so I'm going to start here on my edge, on my paper, just kind of working on that. And I'm not going to go inside the snowflakes. I want to leave that white. So basically, I'm just going to try to make an edge around these. You could also, conversely, put a circle there, like whatever size punches these out, and use it like a mat and just make sure that way that you wouldn't get it on there at all. So what I'm doing is just adding this here. Now, when you do this, you need to have a Kleenex or a napkin or something that will allow you to take the edges, take the color off of the edge of the spots where you have embossed. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's of course not going to come off the basic white paper, but it is going to come off just a little bit in the spots where you have embossing, like right along the edge there. But I'm leaving the centers, and I'm just wanting to put this along the space between the snowflakes. And I want to kind of get it, I've got some blobs here. I think you're just going to have to kind of go with me on that, because the potential for it just being a mess if I try to fix all my little dots is kind of like, oh dear. Okay. I think I'm going to call that good. So what you need to do when you've got this done is you just need to take a tissue. Let's see what I've got in here. Not a lot of tissue. You can also use a slightly moistened bit of like a baby wipe. And what I'm going to use right now is a very slightly moistened stamp cleaner. So all I'm doing is just going over the edge of the embossing. So as you can see, I think you could see that. Could you see? That's what it looked like. It was covered up before, and then I just went around the edge of the snowflake, and it takes off the color that is on top of the clear embossing. So it won't take off on where it's on the paper, but it will take it off of the clear embossing. So I'm just going all around there. And what that's going to do is get it back to the spot that has, or back to the color that is just our stamping. So there you can see that. Just going to put that away for a second. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get my adhesive. There we are. I'm going to add it to my layer here. Kind of get it as even as I can. Let's see. Now, you can see I kind of got it just a little bit damp, so you're going to have to be careful not to let it warp. And you want to use plenty of adhesive so that it will stick down and stay nicely. All right. This one is the pool party. I had embossed it with the embossing folder that is called, I wrote myself a note here to click to it, Snowflake Sky. So I don't know which one you want to call the top and the bottom. I typically think of the snowflakes as accumulating at the bottom, so that might be the way to go. Let me go ahead and put some more adhesive on this. I don't want to have it bothering us the entire time. I'll go across the bottom of that. There we are. So then I'm going to put this, you can see how pretty it would be on the balmy blue, but I think the contrast when you put it on the Misty Moonlight is nice. And you can see it still has the blue here, the balmy blue, but this just looks kind of nice. Okay, so I'm going to put this on our large dimensionals. Just going to use 5 of these, 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. Toss that real quick. And then this one, I'm just going to go ahead and use my adhesive and stick it down. And I decided that the accumulated snow would go at the bottom. So there's that. Then I'm just going to put this right on top of that. Easy peasy. And you can't see a lot of snowflakes, but you do see some, so it does add. Then you're just going to want to put a winter greetings or a let it snow. And what I usually do is put it wherever I feel like it's the most messy. So like maybe I would put it right there. Maybe add some of our pool party ribbon on there as well. think I can make either a bow or I could make a knot. Either one would be cute. Pop that on there like that. So then once you've got this, what I would do is add a few of these. Now, what's a strange thing that I have going here is that these guys have Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, and Fresh Freesia. They're from the big catalog. And so I think it would be great to put in the middle of each one of these, whatever color they are, the color of this. Now, that makes us have to put the balmy in that one. So if you don't want to do that, you could always just put them in on the opposite, and that would also be cute. So what this technique is called is emboss resist, and then it's also stamping and then embossing. So there's kind of two separate things going on there, but this is a resist because we cleaned it when we were finished, so that's what created the resist on this. So there you can see it's a simple card, and it came together pretty quickly for being embossed. So that was a lot of fun. So next what I did was what they had done in the catalog, which was just stamping using your Versamark and then embossing with clear embossing powder. So at this point, what you're going to want to do is just add some, either using sponge daubers or using some of these guys, add some color. So the colors I chose for this card were my Petal Pink, Lost Lagoon, and Soft Seafoam. So let me grab those real quick. I'm gonna pop my little extra piece back up here so I can work on this. And what I'm gonna do is just use different colors in different spots. I have a peachy one, so I'll use that for the Petal Pink. Now you could do this on the actual snowflakes and leave it white, or you could do this just in random spots all over the paper. So it's kind of up to you. So what I've decided to do is just kind of do these spots like this. And I'm gonna put one there. And I'm getting this really dark. It's like, oopsie, but anyway. So we kind of want to go out to the edge where we can not have it quite be so dark. I should have stamped off there. Okay, perfect. And I think the next one I'm gonna do is my Soft Seafoam. So let's see if I have a green. I remember when I did these other two colors. Let's see, I did yellow and brown. Okay, so that means I'm gonna get some new ones. That'll make it nice. Where did I set them? Right here. And do a green and an aqua. Okay. So the green, I'm just gonna pick random ones, just whichever. Put it here. I'm not gonna stamp off with my Soft Seafoam because it is one that is really difficult to get to show. So I'm just gonna kind of stamp it on there like that. And I'll go around, but I won't stamp off wherever I'm working. So there's those two. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that one right there, also in the Soft Seafoam. All right, so then I'm gonna use, I think I may just use this same one because I think it won't really matter because the green is so light. Stamp off right there. Let's see here. And I'm gonna do this last one in my Lost Lagoon. Oh, I got this one nice and light. I'm gonna have to practice on this a little bit. And then if like you're finished with this and you'd like to put a little more in that corner, that's another possibility. I can just kind of do that right there. But you could also do another batch of stamping. I could have before I did this right now. Okay, so there you can see that. This would be another situation where you would clean it off with your tissue before you would mount it. So let's put these guys away. Okay, so now I'm ready to mount this on here. I'll use my adhesive. And, ooh, got that one a little small. Must have grabbed the wrong one. Do that sometimes, but luckily I have my little paper trimmer that was sold several years ago by Stampin' Up. And I'll just trim this down by a 1/4 inch. Nice and simple. And then for my base, I again have our Lost Lagoon and our soft sea foam. Put that on there. And then I'll just add in my Lost Lagoon this Winter Greetings. I think that's kind of fun. And what's good about this color scheme for me, I thought it looked like that you didn't necessarily need it to be for Christmas. Like you could use it for a thank you card, for like a Christmas gift, like something that you were given. And when you're not wanting to say Merry Christmas, you're just wanting to say greetings. And then on the inside, you could put your whatever you wanted to say, thank you, or thank you for inviting us to your house for dinner or for a party or something like that. So I think that's kind of perfect. And then I'm just gonna trim this again. If I find my scissors. That's what happens when you get too many little brushes and things out. Then you can't find what you're looking for. Oh, there they are. Actually, it was under my dimensionals. You know, you never know where I'm gonna put things. There we go. Okay. Just trimming those edges. And then pop your little guy right there. And then all you need to do is find some things that are Lost Lagoon to finish this up, or some things that kind of look like Lost Lagoon. So let me grab something here that I think might work. Here. These pearls, I think definitely look kind of Lost Lagoon, so that's a possibility. And I thought I had one more thing I wanted to kind of show with it. Maybe I'm crazy. What did I think looked good? I don't remember. Oh! Okay. I actually was thinking using these beige ones would look cute because they kind of blend into the peach. That was another thing I was going to do. And then, no, it wasn't that. Oh, these guys. Remember these iridescent ones? They kind of have, I think this is supposed to be clear. I actually think it definitely looks peachy. So that would be a cute one to put in the middle of your guys there. Do it like that. And I would probably just put them all on the same, put the same color on all of them, just because it's such a nice match. And it brings out more of the peach, which is our petal pink. And I think that's kind of what you want to do, sort of, whenever you've got several colors going. And I don't know if that one is going to need one or not. I may need to take that one off if I want to put this right under there. But anyway, so there you can see that little interesting color scheme, which is kind of more for when it's not Christmas time, when it's another time. Oops, lost my little step there where I was putting that. 1 second. There we are. Okay, so then my last one is an even crazier color scheme, and I did something crazy. I am an example of what not to do rather than what to do. So I stamped the big block snowflakes in the clear, in the Versamark, and used clear. And then I stamped the silver, and then I accidentally overlapped them. Well, you can't do that because then it makes a big smudge. But let's pretend that I didn't do that, and let's go ahead and do one more of this, adding our colors. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add my blueberry bushel and my Azure Afternoon, if I can find it. Let's see here. Azure Afternoon, and I was doing a pink. I don't see a red. This might be one that would be fine to just go ahead and grab our pink in here. There we go. And our Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so I would start with the darkest color first because you probably want the least of it. Oh, is this my blue or my... Now I'm kind of confused, but anyway, okay, I'll do my blue. Start with the darkest color, and I was going to put it in the silver. Like that. Okay, like that. And then I thought I would add like kind of every other one with this Flirty Flamingo, which is kind of a peachy pink. That. And I need one more. Maybe this down in the corner. The only way that you can kind of mess up with the emboss resist is if you don't get it heated well enough. So that's something to consider with your thing. So now I'm doing adding the Azure Afternoon, and it is coming up looking like a different color, so that's good. That's always nice, isn't it? When it works out like you want it to look. So that's kind of a more greeny blue. And we did the silver with our blueberry bushel. So you can go back in and add more color so that you don't have any white left, but you may want the white. So just, you know, kind of up to you. And then I'm gonna just do a quick across here like this, take off some of this color, and then that'll really make the white pop. And I gotta warn you, this is really, really not wet. You wouldn't want this to be very wet because you would have a mess. So any place that looks like it still has some pink on it, I'm just trying to get it off of our embossing. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm not gonna stick this down too well because remember I said I wanted to redo this one, so I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit of adhesive. Go. Get these guys out of the way. Our blueberry bushel and our Azure Afternoon. And so what I did for this was I used the blueberry bushel as the card base, and then I used the Azure Afternoon for my pieces of, and I can go ahead and stick these down, that won't hurt a thing, for my faux gatefold. And I would emboss these with the snowflakes, of course. That. And then this one. And I'm just going to put it at the same approximate spot over here. And then I guess I will have to kind of glue this down because it's coming up. What happens when I try not to be wasteful of the underneath cardstock layer. But then you're just going to pop this up on this layer, and it won't be on this layer, it'll just be on this one. And then you'll just add your sentiment, which might be, you know, another Let It Snow or something like that. And you've got another crazy and fun color combination. So we made this one with the Azure Afternoon, the blueberry bushel, and the Flirty Flamingo. So that's one possibility. We made this one with our Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, and Soft Seafoam. So that's kind of a different possibility. And then we made this, which was our first one, which was with Pool Party, Balmy Blue, which is just these guys, Misty Moonlight, and Fresh Freesia. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.